So far the electric options for tradies in New Zealand have been pretty limited. We've had the electric Nissan ENV200 and the LDV EV80. But now we have an option from LDV that's a little bit smaller and more likely to impress, I think, the local market. It's the E-Deliver 3. It's a small van with a really solid range, available in 2 battery sizes at value pricing. The short wheelbase we've got here starts at $49,990 with around a 35 kilowatt hour battery, and the larger model with a 52.5 kilowatt hour battery is just $5,000 more, so $55,000 basically plus GST. Let's have a bit of a look around in this rather damp weather, and we'll tell you what we think. So what's the E-Deliver 3 like in the cabin? Well, it's very nice. I mean, I think this is as good as any contemporary van out there in the market in regards to comfort and space. Despite the fact this being a small van, it's a little bit bigger than an NV200, but quite a lot smaller than, say, a Hi-Ace. This is really comfortable. These seats are lovely and sporty and supportive. I've done a few 100k in the vehicle now. You've got analog gauges down here with a little digital screen with your range and so forth, just basic information. You've got a touchscreen infotainment system down here. You've got a heater, which is an air conditioner, which is a bit quirky. You can either have heat or you can have cold air. You don't get to choose your temperature in between. That works fine. It's really nice. Big storage and bottle holders down here. Buttons for the heating, for the seats, and a safety barrier, which of course is all important these days on vehicles. To drive, it's pretty simple. We're already up and running. We're switched on, just got a key to start. And you pop it into D, pull your handbrake and off you go. Now, like so many EVs, there is a bit of an EV buzz, warning pedestrians at low speed. Nothing too intrusive, and really good to have that, particularly if you're working around where people are working in warehouses or on job sites. I'm just going to pull out onto the road here. Acceleration, and I have spent a bit of time running around, don't think this is the first time I'm driving, is pretty good. It feels really zippy. I mean, I'm really impressed at how this thing drives, and the brakes are solid too. Though it should be noted that as the van is empty, that's somewhat to be expected. These brakes have to account for the fact that you may put a ton in the van, and they need to pull it up as well. But the steering, nice and light, relatively quick lock to lock, which is great for zipping around city streets. You can see, and this I'm really impressed with, because it's not necessarily the case in a lot of vans these days that now have these bonnets on them. You can pretty much see the front corner of the van, which is going to be great for parking. Huge mirrors on the side for a van of this size. I really like those. And of course the reversing camera is standard, which is also really helpful. Any complaints with the way this thing drives? Not really. The steering initially does feel a little bit darty, but I also suspect that may be down to the vehicle being unloaded, so it's set up for when the vehicle shifts its positioning, when there's a bit of a load on board, that may come into line a little better. But no, it's really good around town to use. Now, what can you expect from range? Now, I haven't tested the smaller battery, I've only tested the larger 52.5 kilowatt battery. And to give you an example, we left here from Takanini and drove to Mangawai, so about 140 kilometres north, through some rather up and down roads, and I pushed it at the legal limit pretty well. I had a really good brisk run, and arrived with 51% battery, and that included using air conditioning a lot of the time. that's really impressive and indicates a potential overall range of slightly above what LDV quotes. I think it can, do from full to zero about 280k. Now, of course, depending on what work you're doing and how much load you've got on board, that number is going to come down. But that is massively usable on a day-to-day basis. It's not much to argue about. And if we want to talk about how it does do with the load on, yet again, really good. I was chatting to a staff member here at LDV, and yesterday they put an engine in the back of this, well, a diesel engine, so slightly ironic there, and drove it from Takanini to Hamilton with 2 people on board, and again, highway speed, air conditioning, and they got back to the office with 49% left on the battery. So that is a great total. So to summarize, I am super impressed with the E E 3. Some people may question the fact it's a Chinese vehicle. I don't. I mean, the engineering in this is excellent. The quality feels really solid. It's really well thought out. Great range, great drive, and you can't argue that's not a great price at that $49,990 plus GST to start, or $55 plus GST if you go for the bigger battery option. I definitely think most people should go for the battery option. Now, speaking to LDV, they've got the first shipment of these arriving around March, and I would suggest if you want one, you should be getting into your local LDV dealership soon, because I gather there's relatively restricted numbers, but they've got quite strong demand for those, so get in and claim yours now. Now, don't forget to subscribe down the bottom if you want more from our the EVs and Beyond YouTube channel, and catch in the future for more of these kind of quick and rough and ready videos. We love doing them and hope you get something from them.